Well, somebody took their coat off. I can't believe somebody took their coat off after complaining about being so cold all the time. We're in aircon. There's a nice tropical storm coming, and even I'm in a jacket.
So, you never I think that you will going to wear a jacket in the Philippines. Well, I told you that already before, that during December here, especially when it comes, it's a bad weather, which is usually December.
Uh-huh.
It's really cold. We're wearing a really sweater. I don't know, how do they call it sweater?
We have sweaters, but I don't know if it's the same thing that you call a sweater.
Well, a sweater is like something like a warm material. Kind of
Well, even if it's a warm material, if it's not like thick wool, yeah, that's what.
As long as it's can beat the cold like the wind. But this kind of thing, we just call it like jacket.
See, that's what you're wearing. What you're wearing there for your jacket. That's a sweat jacket.
Really?
Yeah, it's not a sweater. That's a sweat jacket.
We don't really use that. We just, if this is the design, we call it jacket. And if there's like a bit thinner, but we don't know this kind of the material that your mom gives me. We call it windbreaker. And whatever long sleeve is it, and it's a bit thicker, we call it sweater.
Yeah, you'll learn here in the Philippines that they do not call things the proper American terminology.
No, we have our. I think we have. When we live already together, I can have a conclusion that we have our own English.
Yeah, they speak English, but don't anticipate of understanding what they're talking about.
More easier to say queue up really than fall in line. I find it now weird to I'm using it when I was still here in the Philippines before. But since when I keep hearing it to my bosses, and then they always say queue up, I find it weird now to say fall in line. Get in line.
Yeah. See, in the Philippines, it's kind of both ways where they say queue up or get in line, or they'll say fall in line, line starts here. There's all kinds of words in America. It's just like there'll be a sign that says line. That's where you get in line. Sometimes they'll say line starts here.
In elementary, we have this we have flag ceremony. They're not using, our teachers not using get in line. They use fall in line. Fall in line. They're not using the get in line.
Yeah. So one of the things that you'll learn coming here is that the way they use the English language is not wrong. It's just probably foreign to a lot of Americans because that's not the way we use the language. It's probably honestly in some things more proper English, but because the way the American English language has evolved, it's foreign to us because that's not the way we talk. That's not how we communicate.
Yeah. I knew it now that I've been living with you. I thought there was no problem. We were just communicating in text.
Well, like when we start talking and we're just texting, each other, I can read it and take my time to figure it out, because it's okay to have, a long pause in between, because I'm typing or whatever. But when we have the apples of conversation, sometimes I'm just sitting here trying to figure out exactly what she's trying to say because it doesn't make anything. Because last night she was talking about the Battle of the Mannies to me, but that's not what she was saying at all. She was talking about a bottle of mayonnaise. So I'm sitting here at the dinner table going, what in the world are you talking about? And I'm sitting there staring trying to figure out what in the world the Battle of the Mannies is.
Yeah, I told you already. I have the same problem with the pronunciation of between O and A and E. And I told you already that time. And it's not only me, even the other one. They really help to pronounce it.
Well, it's something that if you're not honestly prepared for it, it kind of catches you off guard because, like for you speak English very well. We can have great conversations, but every once in a while you say a word that is not being pronounced right, and so I'm sitting over here trying to go, how does that fit in the sentence? And so I sit here scratching my head
Same
going.
to you. Same to you with me. Like,
Well, it goes both ways because I don't use the English the way you do to describe things or talk about things because I use the way I talk in native English.
how you deliver your sentence. Or I have something, and the only problem with me that I call slang. That's my problem too.
I see, and her problem with the slang is not what you guys think is slang. See, slang, for most Americans, it'll be like ebonics, like yo, y'all, what's up, instead of saying what is up, what's up. Those are all slang words. For her, it's pronunciations. That's what she calls slang. So everybody understands what her terminology as slang is.
That's what we describe it here. When you are like really, I don't know, but we call it slang.
But guys, just know that it's not the way we call slang. It's just pronunciation.
Kind of
so it comes down to sometimes like caramel and caramel. It's the same bloody word. It's just how it's pronounced.
Yeah. That's our term if we like a native speaker that we don't really. You say that's like the Mexican that how they pronounce English. We cannot say them slang, but the pure American we call them slang. Because I cannot just describe it, right? I don't know. But like the ancient Spanish or French, or German, when they talk English, they are very. For us, it's been really well pronounced, and we could have really call it slang. We could not really call it slang. So there's something with your tag that I call slang. I just can't really describe. But however you're going to talk here in the Philippines, like it becomes like there's a sounds of it that we call it slang. I just don't really describe, but we call it the term is slang.
So another version of what her slang is, I'm not sure if this is like really true, but we had a bit of an argument and a fight over the words what is that, and the word wet, which we were talking about a wetsuit. So W-H-A-T and W-E-T. I think that might. So, in true Filipino fashion, we were told 9 o'clock for an appointment. But what time is it actually?
10 to 10:30. The doctor will show up.
So we're close to the city mall, which we haven't been to since we moved like 6 weeks ago. So, and now the theater and city mall is open. So we're gonna go have some drinks and check out the new theater.
Well, let's see after my checkup if there's interesting movies just to go,
Well, we can watch the theater and see if they have a posting
just to
for
see
what
what's
shows.
happening, just to avoid what's happening at home.
Yeah. So is this where I send a text message to Moses? You lied. You're not coming today.
I was just going to say lucky.
Which is why I was pushing so hard yesterday for them to do it yesterday, but they never showed up.
They could never start doing it because they don't have yet received the go signal for connection. Because she already wanted it to install it in a one go, like the antenna and everything.
Well, I wanted the antenna thing because that's 100 feet in the air. Because once that's there on the lines, then they could finish the rest of it on the ground. But they won't come to climb the antenna when it's windy and rainy.
I think he's just like really some kind of. Moses is just a third party, so he needs to gather the people to do it, like his people. So that's one thing as well. It's really hard to.
Waiting for internet again.
Next week.
We've gone through so many providers to try to get internet, and we're still waiting for somebody to show up.
It's just really serious.
Alright, we're open. Here we go. I'm gonna venture over to Fun Nation and see what kind of games we can play.
It's a kid to the candy store.
birthday mo is July 20.
So we're getting blood tests done. Make sure she's all healthy. And an ultrasound reading, 550 pesos. That's like $10.05.